Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Knitting Place podcast. This is podcast number 36, and Pam and I are
together but separate.
Together but separate. So that's why you see the shared screen. Hey, Pam.
Hey, Dina.
It's been a while.
I'm next to you.
We're next to each other, but so far away.
Virtual.
How
you doing, Dina?
Lonely.
I could see you're at the shop.
I'm at the shop. I have been trying to manage the business best I can. I'm not going to say running solo because you are always a text and a phone call away. So I'm definitely not managing.
Mostly solo, though.
Alone. You're helping me out on the back end. You're helping me with finishing. You've been amazing.
Well, thank you, Dina.
I'm shouting out to the world. Thank you, Pam, because you are like my backbone right now.
Well, and thank you for keeping the shop running in whatever way you can. You know, because it's important to everyone, I think, at this time that we have our knitting. We have our craft. We have our crochet. Right?
Yep, absolutely. I'm getting a little emotional. Sorry.
That's okay.
Woo. Okay. It's been a while. It's been since the end of February.
What's today's date?
It's April, is it 10th?
11th.
April 11th. Wow. So it's April 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Most of you know that we are well into a pandemic here, the COVID-19 pandemic. And these are trying times. They are trying times for a lot of people. We are all coping and dealing with it differently. And it's a new norm. And this podcasting, the way we're podcasting, is a new norm for us. So
thank God we can do it.
I know. We're very lucky with technology and the way that we could stay connected with Zoom calls, with FaceTime, texting. My husband said that he read this morning that phone calls, now not FaceTime or Zoom calls, but phone calls, telephone calls are actually up since the pandemic because people are so used to texting and
that's good. Well, that's a good
connecting briefly. It is a good
But really, I think it goes to show you it's probably a time element. People in their normal everyday lives don't take the time to pick up the phone. It's easier just to shoot a text.
I think because we don't have time. We're always running so quickly.
We're always busy. We're always moving around somewhere. But I will say, I apologize for my background. Dinah has a beautiful background there, nice and colorful. And I've got a white wall.
I'm in the shop. I have to
I told Dinah this morning, I was trying to change my background to a different background. They call it a virtual background, but I couldn't do it on my computer. It wasn't the right program.
You look fine. What's hanging on the wall?
I may have to hang some like skeins of yarn from the wall or something, you know. That's pretty. That's a blown
glass?
My friend, it's glass that my friend Kathy gave to me.
Very pretty.
Ideally, would be to hang it like in a window with light shining through too.
Very pretty.
I couldn't do that, so I put it on the wall.
Oh, it looks great. So, how have you been coping? What have you been up to, Pam?
It's different. It's not the same. It's different, you know. But you know, certainly I have more time to knit now than I've ever had before. Or crochet,
talk about
which
your
is a
routine.
good thing.
You stopped work. I mean, we closed the shop. I think we were one of the first shop. We were the first shop on Long Island to actually close our doors, I believe.
Right. It was that Monday, March 16th, I think. You didn't open that Monday. We were open on the 14th on Saturday. That was our last day. And
now, did you have school
to do that? What was that? No. School was closed on Friday. Remember, they closed school. They initially closed school Friday and Monday, and then on Friday, I think they announced that school would be closed until the end of March, and then it keeps progressively changing. And so then that next week we were home.
Okay, so you've basically been home.
Correct.
And walk us through.
I do see my daughter Emily. She lives in town.
Okay.
I leave the house, I get in the car, I drive there, I go in her house, and so on and so forth. So it's the same.
But she's been self-quarantining at home. She hasn't been going to work.
No. Well, she's working from home. Her husband's working from home. And she was just saying she went grocery shopping 2 days ago because she had nothing. And you can't even order. People are ordering on Amazon, but you can't. I was talking to my friend Kathy.
Get deliveries?
Time slot. Yeah, you can't get a time slot. And then Emily had ordered once, and she ordered eggs, and they sent her hard-boiled eggs.
You cook them?
They substituted because I guess they didn't have. But
There's
I mean,
an egg shortage, I feel like.
well, depends, So again, so that's real, and I can't complain, because I can go out and go by her, or she can, she hasn't been here. It's just that I've gone over there.
Okay. And you've helped out watching the kids, right? Manuela was
kids when Manuela's not there, and so in any event, it's a new thing, and I do have I have masks, I have gloves, and do what I have to do.
Okay. Well,
what about you, Dina?
I was going to say my life hasn't really changed. I've still been coming into work. My door is closed. I'm looking at the door. The sign has been closed since March 16th. However, I've been managing to try to stay connected with customers and people who are interested in keeping up with the craft, especially since they have more time on their hands. I'm finding that people want to, I guess, stay sane, stay busy. So there are a lot of requests for mail order. I've noticed an uptick in mail order for sure, because that's the only way I've been able to stay in business. I find that crafting has become people's sanity during times of crisis. I remember the uptick during 9/11. Same kind of thing, people are just looking, they're home, they want to keep busy. So
it's interesting, Dina, that you can make that comparison. You've been in business now for what, like 22, 23 years. I think this is 23 years. You went through the 9/11 crises, and you saw what that did to how that affected knitting and the craft, right?
Absolutely. And, people are, I can't judge, everyone copes differently.
Of course, yeah.
Some people eat, some people drink, some people craft, some people exercise, they go on walks, everyone copes differently. But I found that for me, knitting is definitely meditative, whether it's knitting or crocheting. Casapinka, I posted on Instagram. She has done a crocheted pattern for the blanket of calm. Habitation throw.
Yeah,
that's another one by Helen Stewart.
I got that pattern the other day.
Right now, it's available for free, I think, for the entire month of April. Somehow, I think I bought it. I don't know.
I think I bought it too. I don't think I put the code in.
There's a special code, so you can certainly download that pattern for free. So those two designers, a lot of people have been very gracious. A lot of designers on Ravelry have been giving free patterns or doing group discounts with special codes. There are so many special offers out there.
Right.
And it's not just in the knitting community. I mean, there are artists that are singing. They'll get on and do live performances.
What I watched the other night? Now I'm not going to get her name, and it's going to be so embarrassing because a lot of people know her. She's a poet. Ruppy. I shouldn't even try to say it. I'm going to find her on my Instagram, but I just happened to be, it was a crazy night where I was very, very tired, and I'd fallen asleep for a couple of hours, and then you wake up at midnight and you're awake. So
no, that doesn't happen to me.
I don't know how I couldn't even tell you how I found it, but she was doing like I want to call it a masterclass. She wasn't calling it a masterclass, but she did like an hour plus video, and in the video she was writing. She had 3 writing exercises. So there are people that like to write poetry and like to write in general.
Absolutely.
And she would give them an idea, and she'd give them an amount of time, and they would write on that idea. And I tell you, it was fascinating that I wasn't even writing, and I watched the whole thing.
That's great. It's amazing how people are basically putting themselves out there for other people to enjoy. Stephanie from Asylum Fibers, she sings. Is it every night?
Oh, I love that. I know she does it every night or a few times a week.
Right. It might not be every night.
She did the John Lennon song yesterday, Imagine.
Lovely. Amazing.
I will say that one of my favorites that she's done so far is Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
I love that song. I have to go back and listen. So if you go on her Instagram page, you'll definitely see
yes, you'll see it on Instagram TV probably.
Right. She has them saved, which is wonderful.
Right.
My house, I've got all my kids home, which has been, balancing the scales. It's great having them all home,
Well, they're grown-ups now, though. They're grown-ups now that are used to living on their own.
Right. But, now the dynamics, we've all been on top of each other. It gets a little hairy
You have to
sometimes.
spread out at some point.
Take a little breather. I'm lucky.
Gather together for a meal and separate.
I'm lucky that I come to work. So for me, it's an escape. And I've,
distraction.
It's a great distraction for me. I go stir crazy in the house. So I can relate to those who are finding it difficult staying home. But believe me, from all the health workers that are customers and the messages that they share, stay home, save everybody else. It's so true. Don't put yourself out there. Be mindful. What did I want to say? Ina Garten, Barefoot.
Yeah.
You followed her on Instagram. She's incredible.
I follow her, and I should.
You should. Amazing. She is so good. She'll
cooking on
recipes.
Instagram?
Pardon?
Is she cooking on Instagram?
She'll share recipes. She'll show what she's made. She'll link it in the bio, on her website. What she's doing is actually helping you figure out recipes of what to do with what's in your pantry.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
So she's staying connected, and her messages stay safe. So it's nice because she'll often say, let's say a recipe calls for shallots, she'll offer a substitution. Just use onions
in the refrigerator. Yeah.
Yes, she has this frittata that she made, and she didn't have, I don't know what it was, scallions or something. So she didn't have basil, but she replaced it with scallions, and she said it's the best frittata she's ever made.
So she's probably got a new recipe there.
Exactly. So sometimes you are,
you're forced into circumstance.
Exactly. Right. So it's fine.
Well, I think that what's going to happen is people are going to come out of this and they're going to be gray-haired
and more round,
10 pounds heavier. If it's only 10 pounds, they're lucky. Because everybody. Chelsea is knitting. I mean, this morning she had hot cross buns. Yesterday she was frosting a cake. I mean, that to me, I found recently is my trigger is baking. Doesn't make a difference if it could be a Toll House chocolate chip cookie. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic.
We made cookies. Zach is on his starters now with the bread.
Oh, you're going down that road, Dan.
Jake is making homemade pasta. Danielle came in we made homemade dumplings. I posted it on Instagram. But
everybody has to do whatever interests them. Why not? Why not?
It's a good time to explore new things if you haven't explored. You have time.
That's correct. I, on the other hand, this week got into cleaning out, and I can't tell you the bags of stuff I got. I even got rid of yarn, Dina. I hate to say it. I got rid of yarn. Well, little pieces. I save every little piece.
I know. It's terrible.
And I said, no, I don't need it. And I sent some to Audrey yesterday and to her friend.
That's great.
I sent them a care package of yarn.
Is that why you were next door?
Well, yeah, what happened I'll tell you, in my cleaning out, I found 3 jigsaw puzzles. And this week, it's interesting. My daughter, Katie, and her partner were doing a jigsaw puzzle.
Okay.
And Audrey had been doing a jigsaw puzzle. I love to do puzzles, and I commented to them that I love to do them, but I don't think I enjoy doing them by myself.
Right. It's almost like a communal thing.
Don't you think so? I never thought of that before, but I want to do them by myself. If I'm going to do it by myself, I'd rather knit.
I'd like to puzzle with the family. Like we have a puzzle right now for Cinque Terre, Danielle's favorite spot
lovely. Yeah.
in Italy. It's a 2,000-piece puzzle, but it's in the living room on our coffee table, and it's just taken over. So we'll all congregate in the living room, and when we puzzle.
And if you're there and you want to sit for 5 minutes or 10 minutes on your own, anyone during the day can stop in. It can come in.
Not for a long period of time.
Well, in cleaning out my closets, I found 3 of them.
Okay.
So I said to Audrey, Audrey, I've got these jigsaw puzzles. And she said, let me see what they are. I FaceTimed her and she said, oh, send me those 2. So I was sending her the puzzles.
Fun.
And then I sent her the yarn.
Okay.
And then she needed an extension cord. So I mailed her an extension cord.
Nice. What yarn did you send her?
I sent her Quaigu.
Okay.
My favorite, the color I love, my favorite color? That 648. You know the number, Dina, from years ago.
The one that we all would wait for the truck to drop the package.
Right. I gave up my 648. And then I gave her up a skein of I don't know, now I can't remember the name. It was a sock yarn that was like reddish, but it had some blacks and browns in it. It was a sock yarn. We got it at one of the shows we went to. I never used it. And I think she wants to make maybe a spring thing.
Okay, fun.
Yeah, and then I gave her friend, believe it or not, some of them are wound. I must have given her 6 skeins of Quago in 2 different colorways.
Which is fun.
Which, you know what? I'm over it. I'm not attached to them anymore.
Well, that's it. It's the whole Maria Kondo, like that whole.
Yes, I've enjoyed you. You've brought me pleasure and happiness. Now it's time to do it for
Time to
someone.
go. Make someone else happy.
Exactly. So that's what I was doing yesterday. I was mailing that out to Audrey, which she's supposed to get today. I hope she gets. And I have to tell you, Audrey's only in Brooklyn. She's not in another state.
I know, but I did notice that the mail is slower lately. People, like
Really?
in the beginning, yes. When I used to send packages, often I would get responses like, wow, I already received it. Today, for example, one of the clients asked me if I could track a package to see where it is. They're surprised they didn't get it because their sister got a package from me already.
Right.
One's in Connecticut, one is in New Jersey.
Which one got it first?
New Jersey.
I think you're going to say that.
Yeah. So I'll have to track it after this podcast and get back to her. But getting back to puzzles, so I was talking to Jane. She had called in looking for some yarn, and she's saying how she was keeping busy. I thought this was lovely. She'd done 3 puzzles, and then she put the puzzles out on her front lawn, which I thought was great because she was sharing her puzzles with other neighbors, and then people picked them up, and now they have something to do.
Well, yeah, that's a lovely idea, actually.
Isn't that nice?
Katie was just showing me hers. I think it was just about done. It was a Harry Potter puzzle, about 1,000 pieces. And I said, well, what are you going to do with it now? So I don't know. What do you do with them when they're done?
Either you're attached to it, you want to glue it and frame it, or she can take it apart and maybe put it at the bottom of her building, and maybe somebody else will take it and enjoy it.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah.
I saw an Ellen video about 2 or 3 weeks ago where she was just doing like what to do around the house, and she had a puzzle. It was a 4,000 piece puzzle.
Oh, wow. I would love that. I want to get Danielle. It's funny. The kids were talking about, the kids were saying, wow, they couldn't believe during our Zoom call how many people signed in.
Yeah. When you did the knit Zoom, the
knit Zoom call, right. So we did a Zoom knit night is what I'm referring to. And the kids couldn't believe, they were shocked at how many people came on. And, it wasn't a lot in comparison to maybe others, I guess, but they were just surprised. And they're surprised at our numbers. We're just a small podcast. Like when you compare us to anyone else, like
yeah, right,
who have large numbers, we're clearly just, but in any event, they were, where am I going with this?
You were talking about the puzzles.
No.
And you were just saying, was there and it's gone.
Totally gone. I can't believe I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys.
Happens to me all the time.
Oh, my Lord.
You'll think of it.
I'll think of it and then I'll go back to it. All right. Should we talk knitting?
Let's get to it. What are we going to start with, Dina?
Why don't we start with FOs?
Okay, go ahead. You go first.
I don't have any. You start.
You do.
I don't.
You're wearing it.
I'm wearing something that's almost an FO. You legitimately have an FO.
Come on, Dina, come on. This is my, hold on, do I have it? Actually, hold on a second. Uh-oh, that's me. That was me. It's my daughter FaceTiming me.
There you go.
Okay, hold on. I have it set up. I can put it on, but this is my Portage. Can you see it, Dina? Because
it's beautiful. Yep.
I put
you actually could see the stitch even in the back, but clearly it's the wrong side. Look at how beautiful.
That's the pocket, and the hand is in the pocket, and this is the back side.
Gorgeous.
And
so that's the Portage cardigan. Now I have to take notes because I
don't know who it's by. But, do you want me to look it up? Who it's by?
Portage. I can look it up after. Portage cardigan. Yep. Now, what yarn did you use? Which yarn?
It's the Merino DK from Suburban Stitcher.
Right.
And the color was rouge. As you can see, it's rouge.
It's gorgeous. What a great color.
What I'm wearing underneath is burgundy, really. So it really is a redder color. We can't see. Here's the pocket detail. How pretty is that?
Now, did you stitch the top as they recommended?
What do you mean stitch the top?
The top of the pocket, like in the angle?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, what they said was after you stitched it over, to the purl of that purl stitch over here, then they
We're
had.
not seeing it. You have to raise it a little bit
I'm
more.
going to
So,
take it off. I'm going to take it off so you can
okay.
see. It said then to stitch about 1.5 inches. That's what you're
I'm
talking
sorry,
about.
I'm looking down at my phone. I'm going to look up the designer's name.
Okay, here it is. I'll go closer. So you see, I stitched it, the vertical seam.
Yes. And then did you go across there?
And then I went across 1.5 inches as it
Right.
recommended for stability, which I think was a great idea. So what I did basically, Dinah, that section that you just knit straight to get to the length you wanted for the pocket. Because
Yeah.
after you did the decrease, it said go to so many stitches.
Yes, that
and
section that you went
so
straight.
and then that's what I stitched down.
Right, the straight part. It
Right,
looks great.
gave it great stability, and it's got that great, cable on the side. So it's a substantial knit, and the only modification that I made, I'm trying to think, was you did it as well. We added short rows to the collar in the back, so that the collar, because it was
Yes.
just to knit so many inches, and you have it on, you probably can see
Yes.
it better. We wanted it to sit like a shawl collar in the back.
I don't know if I will.
Right, there it is. Otherwise, it just would have gone flat, straight across. We wanted that little dip. It looks beautiful, Dinah. You can see it there.
Thanks.
So anyway, so that was and isn't that color beautiful?
Beautiful. I'm wearing also Merino DK by Suburban Stitcher in the colorway Manhattan.
It's lovely. That's the colorway she did for Vogue, right?
For Vogue, and she kept it. So it's not a special colorway anymore. I'm done knitting it.
Yeah.
I sewed one pocket.
Oh, good. You got to sew.
I have
Let me
one
see the pocket. Let me see the pocket you sewed.
Pardon?
Let me see the one that was sewed. The one
This one is sewed. I didn't block it yet, so it looks like it's puckering. But I also,
you have to stitch it down.
Right. I didn't do the stability
Right.
part yet.
Yeah, you have to stitch. That's a big thing. That little stitch.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't block mine either.
It looks very pretty. It looks
But
like
I may do one day is drop it off at the shop and you can block it and take a picture. Maybe you can take a picture. Maybe that's another thing for you to do this week, Dinah. I feel so bad. I'll give you the Portage and you can take pictures of the twins.
There you go. That means I have to finish mine. There you go.
Not bad though. It won't be bad.
No. So the designer's name is Melissa Schaschwary. I hope I pronounced that right. Schaschwary.
Right.
Melissa.
Yeah, you could look up Portage and
Portage Cardigan on Ravelry. Did you enjoy the knit?
I did. It was it seemed like to me it was a long knit, like it took a long time. I finished the back stitch, everyone says it is a slow stitch, so it takes time.
So she's referring to this part right here.
In the back, yeah. What is that stitch called? I don't even know what it's
honeycomb.
Called. Honeycomb. Okay. Yeah, it's a slow stitch. It's a slow stitch, so it's not like you're doing stockinette. But you know what I think to me seemed even worse was the garter band around the neck.
This part?
Yes. It seemed like it was never going to get to the
it's a wide band.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of stitches.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're going across the back, you only have a certain amount of stitches. So although it's tedious, it's funny, I kind of missed it when I was doing the stitch on the back. Of course we were like, wow, the stitch is a beast, let me get through the back. And then you get to the other parts of the sweater and I think it was just the monotony of just knit or just ribbing.
Right.
In the border and in the collar.
Well, I found that I just have to sit back. It's funny. I told my husband, I told my daughter I wanted a husband. Those things you sit in bed with? And she works for a bedding company. She says, oh, we have those, blah, blah, blah. And so this was back in January,
Okay.
Now I really wish I had a husband. I could sit in bed and be more comfortable. But no, you're absolutely right. It was a fun knit. It took time though. It's a substantial knit. It's how long would you say the sweater is, Dinah?
Lengthwise?
Yeah, it's a long sweater.
It's about 20 something inches long, 26, 27.
Oh, it's more than that, isn't it? It seems more than that.
I don't know. I didn't actually measure. It's been a while since I actually finished knitting it. Shame on me that I haven't finished all my ends.
Anyway.
You know what? There's so much. It's funny. I don't know what it is, but all of a sudden the designers just came out all at once with a tremendous amount of releases.
Yeah, they have. They
And
have.
I have like knitting envy. I want to knit everything that I see.
Not only do you want to knit everything you see, there are also those projects that you might have been in the middle of or that you really want to knit as well, you know.
Shame on me. I have so many projects that I'm in the middle of that are just, I don't know. I've just got cast on itis in a bad way.
That's okay.
In a bad way. Okay, so we covered FOs.
That's
Should we
it.
talk about, should we talk about new cast-ons or whips?
Whips, absolutely. Whether it's you start, Dan, whether it's a cast on or a whip.
Okay.
Same thing.
Well, why don't we start with the spring thing by Espace Tricot?
Yep.
So it's funny, Pam and I, again, are both doing this. And we kind of started this independently.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Right?
Yes.
Pam went stash diving and
Yep.
I went diving into
Shop.
my stash in the shop.
Stash.
We got a new delivery. I actually went to Stephanie, Asylum Fibers. She's local to me. And we had placed a new order, a spring order. And this was, I shouldn't say it was before the COVID pandemic because it was really just hitting.
At the Yarn Crawl.
It was at Yarn Crawl. So
Yeah.
Stephanie was here for Yarn Crawl. We didn't even talk about Yarn Crawl and how amazing it was.
Yep.
For all of you who came out and supported us, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we never did have a chance to recap Yarn Crawl, but it was a lot of fun. Traffic definitely tapered by Sunday. The
Yes.
reality of it was people were, I think, starting to get scared. The news was escalating that people should stay home. But despite the fact we had a wonderful crawl, exceeded expectations, it was great. I think all Long Island shops were very grateful that we moved up crawl a month early because usually it's in the middle of April and it would have been canceled. So that was a bonus for us. But while Stephanie was here, I placed a reorder and I was lucky enough to go pick it up.
Because she's local.
And I fell in love with one of her colorways. And she's got great bright colors. So if you haven't seen them, you should check them out on my website. You can call the shop. You can look on Instagram.
What did you do?
So what I did was I used her color called, is it Flower Power? No. Hold on a second. I have to get it. You talk, Pam. Why don't you show them yours? You went stash diving.
I went stash diving, as Dina said, and I'd had this skein I'd gotten probably in February. And I kept looking at it and said, what am I going to do with it? And it was from Diane of Suburban Stitcher. It was a colorway that she dyed up in memory of her aunt who had passed away. Diane was with us at Vogue Knitting Live in New York, and shortly after she returned home, her aunt had passed away. So she said she was going to dye up a color in memory of her aunt, and I thought, well, I have to get one of those when she dyes it. And this is what she dyed. It was called, it's called Uncommon Sense, I think. That's what she called this colorway. So I had this one skein of sock yarn, and this is my spring thing. I am almost, but not quite done with the increase. I still have some knitting to do, but in any event, it's on my bent signature. Look at my signature, Dina. See how crooked it is? You see that?
Yeah.
I think someone sat on it once.
Wait, what size needle are you on?
I'm on a 5.
You're on a 5. Okay.
And you know why? Because I began on a 6 circular, and when you're beginning with just like a few stitches, I don't like being on a circular. So then I came off of that and I went to a 6 metal, and I didn't like the way, it's so often the way the needle feels in your hand. I just didn't like the way it felt, and I didn't like my tension. So I said, let me try a 5.
Okay.
And I pulled out 2 metal 5s that I had. Then I realized after I was on a 5 that I had signature 5s.
There you go.
So I switched.
It's fun. I knit mine on my signatures. That's why I was wondering, because mine are green, and I'm like, wait a minute.
She doesn't have 6 there, but I think I even do have 6 signatures. But I was, I had done like this much on the 5, so I wasn't going to change at that point.
It looks great. The color is so you. It's very pretty.
So now the big question is, I think
Edging.
I'm going to have a hard time on the edging color because I do
I
not want to
think
pick up the dark color.
I was going to say, I know you don't want to pick up the dark color, but I think that if you pick up the light color, it's just going to disappear.
What I was hoping
It's
to pick
there.
up, if you look at it,
Is
it's
there like
not.
a red pinky color or the color in your shirt?
There's
Like
no,
Bordeaux?
no, no, not the color of my shirt. There's kind of a color like a pinky peach in there almost, but it's very subtle. The color that you would think you would pick up when you look at this from afar would be the
Dark color, the edging.
I feel like that's too fallish. I just don't
Right.
want to do that. So I think, I don't know, we'll see. You picked up a color yesterday when we were on
Mustard, that like
a mustard
lazy
color, but I don't know how that's going to look with this. I'm not sure. So I
It's
don't
still
know.
going to be autumnal, I think.
Yeah, well, whatever, that's mine. Let's show us yours.
Okay, so I used Wildflower. I got confused with Flower Power because that's the name of the t-shirt that I designed.
Yes.
But this is Wildflower
Look at
from
that.
Asylum Fibers.
That's a good way of showing it right there, Dina.
Isn't that a gorgeous color? Look at all the
See,
beautiful
Dina has
colors.
lots of options for her edging color. She can do the pink, the long,
Yes. And I'll show you
purple.
mine. I actually finished knitting it.
Good.
I just need to do the edging. So it's
Okay.
an asymmetrical. So it only takes one skein of fingering weight yarn, and just be mindful that your fingering weight
Yep.
has the right number of yards, because
Keep
some
going
fingering
down.
weights,
Yep.
there
you
it
go.
is.
So what color are you going to do?
I don't know. And I have to say, I'm quite impressed with Stephanie's dyeing, because the speckle, look at how even it is.
Yep.
When you knit it up, I've heard a lot of people knit with hand-dyed yarns, and they find that some of their skeins are more heavily speckled in one end of the skein than the other.
Yep.
So I'm really quite pleased with
It's even. It's nice and even.
her dye job. Yep.
Yep. It's beautiful.
Yep.
Dinah has lots of options to you haven't blocked it yet either, right?
No.
You have lots of options in terms of your color edging, right?
Yes. I'm, you know,
What color? Yeah, that's like a
it's
pinky
like
orange.
pinky orange. It's like the color of my logo.
You could do that.
I'm not sure. It seems a little loud.
I think what you should do, Dinah, is take it off, lay it on the table at the shop, and put a
Put a
couple of
different color.
color choices next to it, and just look at it for a couple of days.
Maybe I'll take a
There'll
vote.
be one that you like more than the others.
Again, when you look at it like this in the skein in the entirety, it's not going to be the, it's just a little pinstripe.
It's going to change. What's going to happen? Parts of it, when you do it, are going to be pink, and parts are going to be orange.
Right. I may not object to that.
As you apply the border, but that's
Right.
fine. It's a great project, because who doesn't have that one skein of?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's an easy one to stash dive. So some people are conscientious of budget right now. A lot of people can't work, or they're forced not to work. As a crafter, you might go to fairs, to different, events. You buy a skein because you fall in love with it. It could be the signature color of the event.
And that's what I sent to Audrey yesterday, was that Kwaku for that.
Right. So it's again, as long as you have the yardage. This is the actual pattern. It's a free pattern by Espace Tricot. Lisa designed the pattern. She's calling for, what is she calling for? She's calling for one skein of fingering weight. It's 400 yards. So as long as you have 400 yards in the main color, you're set. The edging, she's calling for 87 yards in a contrast color of fingering weight. But I'll be honest with you, a lot of my customers just took a DK weight because they want you to double the yarn.
I just had a fabulous thought, Dinah.
What's that?
That's my daughter again. I can't talk to her now. Hold on. She keeps calling me.
You want to message her and let her know your podcast?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell her right now.
Okay.
Hold
so
on.
I'm gonna write down that you were doing Spring Thing by Espace Tricot. So that's a great stash diving.
I have all those minis for my advent calendars.
Oh, you can use one of those.
Come on now. There's got to be something in there, right?
There has to be. And you can actually keep it in.
What I was thinking of doing was using, actually, you mentioned it earlier, the, what's it called, Dinah, the blanket? The
Habitation throw.
Habitation. I was thinking of using Diane's minis from her advent calendar for that, perhaps.
Now, what size blanket will that give you?
The pattern says the finished size is 40 by 40, but she was using skeins that were like maybe 40 to 50 yards.
40 to 50. So you have more?
Yeah,
Like,
I have to, I think I have to look. I have to go into the things and see. I thought that they were more like 80 or 90 yards, what I had.
Okay.
So that being the case, my blanket would be bigger.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't object to that. And when we were at Vogue with Diane, we were talking about different projects with the Advent, and she said, "Well, I would just do is put all the skeins in a bag, and just put your hands in there and pick out a
Like
skein.
blind.
Don't try to direct it. Just
right. Just
do
go
it.
random. It's like that Quaigu coat.
Yes.
Coat of
Yes.
many colors that everyone does. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Which to me is so freeing, you know, because I don't want to have to plan what color I'm
It's freeing, but for somebody like me who likes everything laid out, I find that elevates my stress level.
Anxiety, right, Dan?
Totally.
Yeah. Well, in any event, that's a good idea. I just thought that while we were talking about it now, I should go into my minis.
You can, and it's actually a Suburban Stitcher.
Right, right. I have two of them. I have Suburban Stitcher and I have Barnyard.
Right.
So
exactly.
Anyway, so that's one.
Whip.
Dinah's got to almost. You have an almost, so you got to finish that, Dinah.
No, I still have all the edging and the fringe.
Oh, that's not hard. The edging and the fringe. That's not hard. You can do that.
There you go.
Tomorrow.
There
you go. What's another whip?
Another whip. You go.
I have, I'm trying to think. I have, well, Dina and I talking, we were talking about, you know, what I'm doing a sample for the shop, right, Dina?
Yes.
And we saw this on, like as Dina was saying, there's so much on social media that you're seeing right now. But I saw this, and Dina will tell you this is not common for me to go with something like this, right, Dina? This is Luna from
Espace Tricot.
Espace Tricot. And it's yep.
Another free pattern on Ravelry.
Right. This is the top. There's a twisted rib, and then I'm about 2 inches down from the armhole on the. I have to do about whatever. I don't know how many inches it is, but I'm using Anzula Cloud.
Okay.
Which is a lace weight, and I'm using Shibui Silk Cloud. Do you know what the colorway is, Dina, on these? Oh, don't go crazy. Don't worry about it.
No, I have it right here.
Is it Petunia? No.
What, these?
Anzula. The Anzula.
Sorry.
I should know what the name is, but I don't.
Raspberry.
Raspberry. Oh, raspberry is this color.
Raspberry? No, raspberry is the cloud.
Yep.
Huh. Both
raspberry.
Both raspberry.
That's crazy. Anyway,
totally unplanned.
Dina and I are big fans of the Anzula fibers, right? Of her squishy, her cloud.
Love Anzula.
And this is a lace weight, and I'm telling you, it's just beautiful. It feels great. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have right now. It's straight knitting for me, and then the sleeves.
Easy, you're done.
Wow.
I mean, like you're in the home stretch in the sense that
I'm getting there.
Yeah,
it's a fun knit now. It's that's a nice knit. It's more of a meditative knit right now at this point. You can just sit and knit and knit and knit and go around and around, which there's something to be said for that.
Again, that mindless meditative knit is what people I find. And that's, we didn't discuss that with spring thing. Another reason why it's such an easy knit right now is it's basically all knit. You pay attention a little bit for your increases. I don't know about you, Pam, but I had to rip out a couple of times because I left increases out or decreases.
That was me yesterday. I knit maybe 6 rows, and then I had to rip out 8 rows. So, what are you gonna do?
Nothing. Hold on. My daughter is asking me how to prepare something.
Go ahead. You can answer, huh?
I'm going to actually defer her to my father-in-law.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Right.
My kids talk about cooking. My kids have been making bread.
Also, who's doing that? Dan?
Well, Emily started it. She found a recipe. It was like, I don't know. She said it was 3 ingredients. I don't know. What could it be? Flour, yeast, and I don't know, salt. It had to be more than 3 ingredients. But anyway, it's like a Brooklyn bread. We call them Brooklyn breads, the round, crusty breads. And you bake it in a like a Dutch oven pot.
Okay.
One of those pots.
Uh-huh.
And she made it, and then her siblings saw it, and then Daniel made it, and then Audrey
It's
wants to
funny
make.
that you're talking about bread. So Ina said, if you don't have yeast, make an Irish soda bread.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's what I'm saying. She's really amazing in the sense that,
You can't get
so
yeast now. You can't get it.
I think that's why Zach was making his starter.
Exactly, because you can't get yeast. Emily happens to have yeast because when she was nursing, she would make these little balls. I forget what they were called, but they were protein balls of some sort that were good for nursing mothers to keep the
Okay.
milk supply going. And what she would do is buy the jars of the Fleischmann's yeast. So
Okay.
that's where she has
She didn't have the packets.
Yeah, she didn't have to go crazy. Anyway, I'm sorry I diverted to that. We're
No,
talking.
it's fine.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you're done. So you're working on Luna. I started West Knit's painting brick shawl.
Oh, yeah.
That has been extremely popular here in the shop.
It's a lovely pattern.
It is such a pleasure to knit. I haven't had so much joy.
Is it mindless?
It's knitting and slipping, and
keep changing in sections.
It changes. The way it's written. Every section it definitely moves because you're laying bricks.
Mm-hmm.
The increases don't happen all the time the same way. There's some sections where I guess it skips. It's easy though. It's really easy. It's not a challenging knit. The most challenging part might be is you have the knit tab where you have to go around and pick up. That might be the most challenging part. He even has a little video, Weaving Steven, and he shows you how to,
Yes.
you can find it on his Instagram TV, how to weave in ends because you're constantly changing color. It's just fun. So I'll show you mine.
Oh, look at that.
This is mine so far. So it's funny.
Turn it around the other way from the top.
Oh, sorry. This way?
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
So that's basically the way it would lay.
So does it work? Do the colors, in other words, do you have, say, 6 colors that you're using as
there are 8 colors.
And then you go 1 to 8, 1 to 8, 1 to 8?
Correct. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's nice.
I told it yesterday, one of my clients only wanted to use 4 colors.
You could do that, sure.
I actually wanted to make it in black and white, but I sold out of all the black. The core color.
But I think that's nice what you have there.
I love it.
It's
definitely earthy. Yeah. Interesting.
Could you use a yarn, for instance, Dina, as the like the 8 colors? Could you use a yarn like a unisono that changes color?
Self-striping? You can. You certainly can. You may find in the beginning that you'll get longer, like a wider band of color.
Yeah, that's right.
You may not get the full, as the shawl gets wider, you may not get the full brick in a color. You may get 2 colors.
Because this is a full row of each color, a full section of each color.
Right. Yeah. Like, for example, Linda showed me a palette that she absolutely loved. I really enjoyed making her palette. Her and Marilyn went very similar. We use Quaigu for painting the bricks.
Nice.
Quaigu has color change within their skeins. It's not like flat. Like mine's flat because it's all solid.
Right.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous with the Quaigu. Really pretty.
Does he tell you how much of each color you need? Like, is it the same? Excuse me. Is it the same for all 8?
I think he may have written the pattern that way. What ends up happening is you repeat the colors 1 through 8 a couple of times, but then you end with 1 through 4.
So you might need more of those.
I think he gives you equal amounts. I don't recall by heart. Absolutely fun. I'm really, really enjoying the knit. Really enjoying it.
You can also play with that with your scraps too, if you wanted to,
Absolutely. So we have clients that have gone stash diving, and this is absolutely perfect because you don't need a lot of every color. When you look at his pattern on Ravelry, I'm going to look for
I was going to ask you how much you need of the main color.
So the main color you need, I think, about 700 yards. Of course, it's 750 in the DK weight version, and for the fingering weight version, it's 720.
That's going to be 2 skeins of fingering, probably, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Which is sometimes you're lucky enough to have 2 skeins of the same color. And then as far as the minis, it's 85 yards.
Each color?
of each color.
Okay, well, that's minis. You can do that with your minis, yeah.
The CC, well, yeah. So you
Get
can use minis, like the hedgehog minis are perfect. Yeah, it's,
Or else some of the minis, the Madeline Tosh of like 54 yards, you get two of them.
you get two of them. I was just reading something, I'm not sure, the CCs used earlier in the pattern that aren't used in the border only require, so yeah, so what's not used in the border requires slightly less yardage. But I
Right.
think with 85, 90 yards, you have
Yeah,
enough.
that's fine, yeah, as long as it's, yeah, that's great.
But
That's a great pattern, Dinah.
it's fun. It's definitely fun. So great for stash busting if you'd like, or if you'd like to just start your own palette. I'm using Wool Folk Tinned.
But
which
people
is
have been using
really
everything,
soft.
right?
You can use anything. So I'm low on, I have one set of black fingering. I'm getting more in.
What
But
needle are you on?
so I'm in a 5. So although I'm using tinned, which is probably like a sport weight, I'm using it as the fingering weight version. So I'm knitting it on 5.
What
It's
is the DK version knit up on?
a 7.
Okay.
Yeah. So probably a slightly larger shawl. This feels
And
like better.
that's what I'm on. I'm on a 7 on my Luna, believe it or not.
It's moving quickly.
It is, yeah.
It's moving quickly. All right. What's next on your needles?
Well, as Dinah was saying earlier, cast-on-itis, right?
Yes.
A bug bit both of us, actually. I've wanted to know, and Dinah knows this, make the Hohi super simple summer sweater for a long time.
Great time to cast that one on.
Correct. And I'm just bringing it up on my phone. Let me find it. Where is it? Of course, I've got to cancel this and search for super simple. Let me just see. Super simple.
That's by Hohi Locatelli.
Of course, it's not coming up in my patterns, but what can I tell you?
Do you want me to pull it up? I have it in iBooks.
Yeah, if you have it in iBooks, pull it up, Dinah.
Okay.
I apologize for not having this.
No worries. So what yarn are you using to make it?
I am using Spud and Chloe sweater.
Beautiful.
And these are the colors that I'm using. This, I don't know what this is called. Does it have a name on it? I don't know. Doesn't say.
Is that coming up clear, Pam? Is there
These are my 2 colors. Yeah, that's it.
Pretty.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it looks great. It looks like the colors I have here, actually. I'm doing a cream.
Right.
And then the other color, I call it like a raisin color. It's coming up gray. I thought they put the name on them, Dinah. I guess not.
What are the color numbers?
The color number is 7534 for this one. And the cream is 7535.
Perfect.
Anyway, and the Spud and Chloe is a cotton wool blend. It's 55 wool, 45 organic cotton. And I think that's what she uses. The blend that she uses on the original pattern is a wool cotton blend. And
were you able to get gauge?
Yes, I was. It was surprising because she's using a 6 needle to get gauge.
Okay.
And the gauge is 17 and a half stitches, which is certainly a gauge you can get with sweater. But I am not on a 6. I'm on a 7.
Okay.
So, initially I put it on an 8.
You're putting your 7s to work, huh?
Yeah, everything is on. Of course, so then last night I needed to, so I had to knit off of the Luna so I could get the other circular for the super simple. So anyway, so I cast this on yesterday, and I've done the short rows, and now I am just doing some straight knitting for a while. I have, I think, another increase coming up.
Are you done with the short rows?
I'm done with the short rows.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, I did, instead of doing the wrap and turn, I did the German short rows.
I think I substituted German short rows for mine as well.
Yeah, because I just feel that maybe I'm not doing them the best way, but I find sometimes the wrap and turns are a little more noticeable.
Yeah, I don't like the way
when you pick up the wrap.
Yeah.
It's interesting, if I do like
the Lyons has a great way to, like, she explains it. But for some reason, correcting them, or I forget the term that they use to actually pick them up to resolve the wraps. I'm just, for some reason, on one side they look a lot cleaner than the other side.
I saw a video just while I've been home and on picking up the wrap on the wrap and turn, And it's not the way I picked up the wrap. So I was interested in trying it. I said, gee, I wonder if I did it that way, if it would look better. But when I was doing these, it was just easier for me to do the German short ones. So that's what I did.
Okay.
So that's my latest cast on itis, my latest cast on. So the projects just keep piling up. What about you?
So yesterday I posted on Instagram, I showed a picture of all these colors in Patty, and I will actually show them to you.
Yes.
This is Patty. It's a 100% cotton yarn by Taki Stacy Charles. It's kind of tubular. It's like a chain neck construction. Almost reminds me of a little bit like sweatshirt material, like
I like it. Yeah.
It's really nice. And it's soft and light, some cottons tend to be very dense.
Yeah, it's a cotton.
Like a blown.
Excuse me. It's a cotton you can knit with and it not be heavy.
Yep. So I had inquired, I was getting ready to cast one on. This one's a little more not teal. What would you call that blue? Like a French blue?
Right.
This
the other one more denim-y.
Denim-y blue. Then we have black and maroon.
That's pretty.
And yet there's more.
And there's more.
Ivory and gray. Now there's 2 shades of gray. And I had inquired to see if anybody knew which color I was going to cast on. So these are 2 different grays.
Ooh, look at that.
One is more of like a flat gray. This is, I guess, has a little more purple in it now that I'm looking at it.
Which one did you do?
So I went with.
I know what you did. You went with the purple one?
Yeah, I
Good.
did.
Good. I like that.
It's pretty. It's a neutral. However, the whole palette seems to be very neutral, especially now going into the change of season. I decided to cast on a new sweater.
Yes, just keep us in suspense.
I had FOMO. Denise Bayron had to knit along, and I didn't participate. Right. And I really wanted to cast on a wave of change, and I finally did.
But you're doing a summer version.
I'm doing a summer version in the cotton.
Nice.
Very simple.
Love that sweater. Love that sweater.
It's a beautiful sweater. I must say Denise did a great job. I mean, in her pattern, the way it's laid out. This is the jacket.
Yeah.
Very pretty. She's got great sizing. Her instructions, I mean, I think, what is this, like 14 pages? I forget how many pages it is. 11 pages, 10 pages, something like that. Yep. But she lays everything out. Everything is very clearly, everything's explained very well. So it's a beginner. I would say it seems so far to me to be a beginner project. There are raglan increases. It's a basic increase. I haven't gotten that far into the pattern, so I can't tell you exactly what level it is, but I'm enjoying it so far.
It's fun, and I think it's a quick knit. It's not...
Yeah, I'm on size 10 knitting needles, which should move rather quickly.
Nice,
so.
Nice.
Yeah.
So those are our latest cast-ons. I know I posted a picture of my 2 skeins yesterday saying I needed to cast on, so...
Somebody commented they wanted to know that, or they liked your colors and they wanted to cast on too.
Yeah, they wanted to know what it was I was knitting.
Yep.
So we're gonna have to tell them. But anyway, so those are my 3 immediate go-to projects. But of course, as I said, I have many.
I know. Anything else you want to share?
Well, I was telling Dina that in going through my things today, I've talked about this before. I have a blanket that I'm crocheting from a friend of mine, but the problem is I keep it. It's not out. So if it's not out, you could pick it up and just do a couple of rows every day quickly, it's not that, it's not difficult, but it's not out. So I don't do it. So I created this. I have this big, I hate even call it a basket. It's so big. But what I did is I said, I'm going to keep it out. And Dina, you'll love to see what I put in this basket. You're going to love this. Watch. She's going to recognize these things. What's in there is my Sunday cardigan. I mean, that's really a shame. I finished my Sunday cardigan, right? I do.
I can't believe you didn't finish it.
So it's a big needle. It's like an 11 or 13, whatever it is. I don't remember now.
You should be able to breathe right through that. Now you have time.
That has to be done while I'm home. That has to be done. The next one, I hope it's here. Where is it?
So is this like your basket of things you need to tend to?
Yeah, but if they're out, I'll do it, Dina. If they're out, I'll do it. And I can't find the other thing I wanted to show you. I don't know what I did with it. I'll tell you what it is. It's my cloud. It's my,
like a cloud?
Like a cloud. If I can do 4 rows a day from Hohi, That's in color tar. Where did I put it?
Think of all the FOs you're going to have, Pam.
Well, maybe. And sitting down at the end over here is Daniel's sweater.
Have you started that?
No. Well, yes and no. Remember, the problem I had was I had gotten about this much of the sleeve done and realized that I done the cable incorrectly.
Okay.
On one of the cables, you know, because it's done in the round. I don't remember what I did, but anyway, so I had started to, I had said, oh, I can fix it. Turns out it was too involved to fix. There's too many drop downs, and it was multiple cables. So I said, it's just easy. The time I spend doing this, I can rip it. So I took it out, and then I called Dina recently and said, you know, I cannot figure, you know, when you take out a pattern you haven't looked at in about a year, and you have to take about a half an hour to reintroduce the pattern to yourself and the chart.
Like a realignment.
I don't even remember what size I was making, the size and where I was. So make a long story very short, I ripped down to the ribbing.
Back to square one.
Back to square one. So that's out as well. I mean, I've got many things out. And the last thing I'm going to show you, Dina, I don't even think I ever showed this to you because oh, here it is. Hold on. Here's my like a cloud. I just saw it. Look at this. Here it is. This is a blast, right, Dina?
That's a great time to wear mine. I should be wearing it.
Is. Look, it's joined.
In the round?
Are
you past the armhole? Oh, yeah, you are. Look at you.
What, 2 or 3 inches past the armhole? So I just have to do the pattern.
That's one strand of Seema and one strand of Silk Cloud.
Correct. And here they are. Here are the two beauties right here. Needle out of them.
Pam, I'm writing these down. Sunday Cardigan by Petite Knit. And then you have Like a Cloud.
Yes. And the last thing I'm going to show you, and I don't think that, as I said, Dina hasn't seen this because it's too much to take to the shop. And Dina even knows the name of it. What's the name of it, Dina? Roy G. Biv? Is it Roy G. Biv?
Yes, Roy G. Biv by Park Williams, is it?
I don't know. Park Knits, is it? I don't know.
No.
Anyway.
Shame on me. I don't know. I just looked it up for you. I can't believe I couldn't think of it.
This is on what's on a 10.5 right now. And I just finished doing the garter bottom.
Williams.
What is it?
Park Williams.
Park Williams, yeah.
Roy G. Biv, and that's the sweater that Pam is doing.
So now, again, my dilemma with this is I'm changing colors. But if you look at the picture Dina just showed you, her arms match the jacket.
Hold on, I'll show you again.
And that
Sorry, I was writing it down.
Yeah, see, that adds a real layer of complexity for me. Because I don't know, it's just too much, because I'm using things that
they don't really match. If you look at it, generally speaking, she goes into that Roy G. Biv.
Right, but her sleeves.
The bottom of the sleeves, yes. So you can leave a little bit. Now, are you stash diving? How are you doing
Yes, believe it or not, it's a combination of things. There's some yarn that I picked up at Rhinebeck a year or so ago with you. Remember, we were at I can't remember the name, Green Mountain, I think it was Green Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up some of these variegated skeins. So I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to show you how I organized, Dina. Look.
By color? Nice.
Shows you I have time on my hands, right?
Yep.
And I have actually, so anyway, these are colors that I picked out that I knew I liked. You see?
Definitely.
I thought I would go from the greens maybe to some
yellow,
golden browns, and then maybe to the red, and ends up on the top with like these lighter colors in here.
Really pretty.
I don't know. Will this ever get done? Who knows?
I hope so. It's so pretty.
But if I have it out, you see, it's the kind of thing we're always changing colors. If I have it out and easily accessible, I'll do it. If I have it packed away sitting somewhere.
If you have to dig it out, it just makes it that more labor intensive. You definitely want, who was it? I was talking to Nikki. She cracked me up. She's like, Dina, I forget what it was. She wanted me to send her something. And I said, do you want to wait until you're, I was back ordered on something that she ordered. She said, Dina, don't worry, I'm in no rush. She goes, I have a knitting project in every room.
Right. She messaged me yesterday and she told me she sent me a message. She's doing the Millie sweater. And so she sent me a message on the Millie sweater. And I said, oh, that's another one I have too.
Oh, wait, I have other whips.
You have plenty of whips, Dina.
Wait a second.
You have that too, don't you?
Yes. Hold on. I am so not prepared. One second. I did bring that. I brought my Millie and I also brought my flower power.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the new one?
Yes, the one that I designed. I'm making a second one.
Good. In a different yarn, I guess, right?
Yes, you know, a lot of people have been inquiring about it.
Flower power.
Flower power tee. I'm sorry, it's on the mannequin, so it's a little bit hard to bring over. I'm not going to bring it.
We can go on
Ravelry. It's you on Ravelry. Will you look it up in the meantime?
Sure, absolutely.
So actually,
got it.
I may have it here. I do. So this is the Flower Power Tee, which is a design that I made, and you can find it on Ravelry. It's a short sleeve V-neck with a little lace bottom. You can really use any fingering weight yarn.
Right. Doesn't have to be the.
It doesn't have to be Soleil.
Right.
It's a lovely option. I used that yarn. Chelsea was gracious enough to let me design with it, and we featured it at Yarn Crawl, and it sold really well. I'm actually doing a summer version in silk.
Oh, nice. That's pretty, Dina.
Thank you.
That looks very nice in this. That's not even blocked out.
No, it isn't.
You're going to get nice drape on that when you do block.
I think so. It's going to be really drapey, which is, I absolutely love it.
Is that 100% silk?
It's 100% silk by VJ Fibers.
Nice.
And I think it's only going to take 2 skeins.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Even better.
So that'll be nice. So
nice.
I'm working on that.
Good.
A new one so that people could see that you can use another fingering weight yarn.
Yeah.
And then I'm also making the Millie top, which is designed by Nice and Knit.
Yep.
And I'll show you a picture of it. Now, Christina was here at Yarn Crawl. She was actually wearing it. Here it is again. There's the back view. Very basic raglan sweater, easy to knit. I'm using Chelsea's blue clay yarn called Cobblestone.
Yeah.
My 2 skeins are actually very different, even though they're the same color. So you definitely want to look at your skeins that you purchase, and when you wind them up, let me see if you could see it on camera. Does it show that it's different?
A little bit. The one on one side looks a little lighter.
This one has a lot more. So I think I'm using rose gold.
Yes.
So when you look at it, this one is showing up a lot more gold in it, and this one almost has no gold. So I'm definitely I'm alternating to get the different, to even out the color change. I'm using the helical technique or the jogless join.
Yep.
And didn't get very far. I'll show you where I'm at.
There you go. That's pretty though.
Yeah. Sorry.
Nice.
Very light, pretty texture.
We liked it because her gauge, it was when she was wearing it over a jumper, a sweater, a dress, excuse me. She was wearing it over a dress, and it was very light. And the gauge was it was a little different from the pattern, but it was lovely.
I thought it had, it had a beautiful drape.
Correct.
It laid nicely over her dress. It was light, airy. It was appealing. So we have some cobblestone in stock.
With summer coming up, especially with summer coming up. I'd like to make another
layering top.
Yeah, I have a.
You also got some, didn't you get some? Oh no, you bought some to make something else.
I got that. I got that color that's cream. What was it called? Cream with
vanilla bean?
Vanilla latte.
Oh, vanilla latte, excuse me.
Vanilla latte. I got that to make the Millie, and I got
of coffee drinks.
Exposed. I know, right?
What did you make yesterday?
Oh, did you like that, Dina?
Yes, I did.
I wish you were here. I'd make you one. It was so delicious.
What was that?
I saw it on Instagram during the week. It was called Delganda. I think it's a drink from South Korea, they said. I don't know if it started with people being in, not being able to go and get coffees or whatnot, what the nature of it was, how it began. But it's so easy to make. It's
what is it? Is it a coffee drink? It looked like an ice cream soda or something.
What you do, it was so easy, Dina. You take a cup and you put ice cubes and a cup of milk.
Ice
Yeah.
cubes in a cup of milk. Okay.
Then you take 2 tablespoons of instant coffee. It has to be instant coffee.
Okay, I've got that.
It only works with the instant coffee. 2 tablespoons of instant coffee, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of boiling water. And you whisk it together. You can whisk it, you can blend it if you want. You can use a mixer.
All three, the coffee and the milk, or you do it separate?
No. You blend the instant coffee, the sugar, and the hot water.
Okay.
And you can whisk it by hand, or you could use an electric mixer if you have, or an emulsifier or whatever. And it changes to that like beautiful golden color.
Okay.
And thickens somewhat. Now, of course, you know how it is when they style it on these pictures. Mine didn't look quite as thick as theirs did, but it was thicker. And then you stir it, and it was delicious, Dinah. I have to tell you.
So you poured the milk on top?
No, you put the milk in first, and then after you blend the instant coffee
It
mixture,
looks so
you dollop
delicious.
it. You like that word? You dollop it on top, and because the mixture that you're putting on top has the sugar in it, and it does thicken a little bit. I don't know why it thickens, but it's got to be the sugar. I don't know, maybe because the sugar and you're mixing it.
Okay.
You have to make it, Dinah.
I have to make it. I'm really longing for my Dunkin' Donuts. I've eliminated that from my, I don't stop anywhere. Coffee is certainly
but
not.
Then you have to make this. Then
Yeah.
you have to make this. You would love this. As a matter of fact, it goes down very quickly. It's really
quick.
It's only a cup of 8 ounces of liquid in there, and the stuff you put on top. But that was, I have to say, it was delicious. I liked it a lot.
Well, it looked quite inviting.
It says you can also use whole. They said the best was whole milk, soy milk, or oat milk. They found to be the best.
Not almond milk.
I used whole. Yeah, I guess not almond milk. No,
I would think that whole milk would give you a really frothy.
Well, again, the milk is not being mixed with the thing, but it's in there so that when that mixes in with it, I have to tell you, it was delicious. And I don't put sugar in my coffee.
You had it with sugar? You had it as they instructed, I presume.
Yeah, it was delicious.
What's it called? I have to write this down.
Hold on, I have to look. I was.
For those of you who want to see.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, for those of you who want to see, hopefully I get this podcast up. It's on Pam's Insta.
I know. Is it on my, I wonder if it's still there. Hold on.
Delicious. And you put it in one of those like sheep glasses.
Yes, I had the sheep glass, and I said, gee, here it is.
So funny.
Here it is.
Yeah, show everybody. Wow. Is that fabulous?
And then this was the next picture after I mixed
Dalgona?
It's called a Dalgona. Dalgona.
Dalgona coffee. Okay.
Look at that.
Yum.
It was so delicious. I know that's going to, if I have one every day, that'll definitely put 5 pounds on.
Oh, stop. It will not.
No, it won't. It's only milk. But in any event, it was very good, I have to say.
Well, it looked delicious. I miss our coffee runs. I miss our bakery runs.
I can drive over to the shop and we can both sit in our cars.
Never coffee.
Our respective coffees, right? How funny is that?
Yeah.
But anyway, so listen, so that, I think that's it for.
I think that covers our whips, right?
Covers our whip. What do you have there? Do you have anything to show us?
No, that's it for whips, but I do have inspiration if you're looking for things. I'm going to be, so I know that we covered spring thing is something that's budget conscientious.
Yes.
I know that some people are trying to stash dive. Another thing that I could show you is the Areca cowl.
Yeah.
It takes 2 skeins. Pam, you knit the sample. It's beautiful. It's a great summer version of the Areca cowl. I could actually slip it on.
Yeah, it's great. So in that popular silhouette now, kind of like a bandana.
Yes, bandana with fringe. Sorry, I just messed up my hair. So I'll just show you some colorways. This kit is $30. You do have to buy the pattern. The pattern is not free. I could show you that we have a very pretty speckled pink.
It's called Spark. Is it Sparkly?
This one's called, it's About Berlin Sparkly.
Yeah. That's
and
nice.
I found that a lot of customers They like to call the shop to place their orders. They're not very comfortable going online. A lot of people don't like to order online. So I've really been hands-on as far as trying to help you guys pick out your projects. I'll text you pictures or email you pictures. This one is like a light blue with pink and teal and orange dots. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
What other colorway do we have? This is a popular one. This has got like a light gray background.
More neutrals.
More neutral for sure. And it's got like a gray speckle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a khaki in there as well. And I'm just trying to see if there's another colorway. I think there's one more that I didn't share. This one is a gray with a blue and teal,
nice.
like a navy and black.
Mm-hmm.
So these are pretty options. These are only $30. So if you're looking for something that's small budgeted where you can maybe support more than one local yarn shop, I know that a lot of shops are still doing mail orders even though their doors are closed and you want to spread the love. We have Urban Cowl. The Urban Cowl takes, I think that one is also $30. It takes one skein.
Oh, festive. You said urban. No, festive.
Not urban, excuse me, Festus Cowl.
Festive.
You're right.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty. That's a pretty color combo.
Yes, this is the purple passion color.
You know what you have to show them too, Dina, is the shift in the cotton.
Oh, that's
an expensive project, right?
That's
if you do
it.
Yeah, if you do it in the cotton version.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I'll be right back.
I mean, you can also do the shift, of course, with the spin cycle, with the 3 skeins of the dyed in the wool, which is lovely, which is what I have done. But we got this yarn in the spring. It's called, it's escaping me now. You see, I can't think of the name. But it is a cotton that changes color as you knit with it. So it's perfect for the shift. And Dinah has a sample there that was knit for us. And the colors are just beautiful in the one she's going to show you. Here it is. What's the name of the yarn that we used for that?
Medina.
Medina, that's right. Is this from Barocco?
Yes. So this one here is the Festus Cowl.
Yeah.
So that combination that I showed you earlier with the purple passion, it makes that. And this is the orange colorway.
Lovely.
If you're interested in that, that's Festus. That's available online on the website, or you can always call in. This is Jane's Shift Cowl, which she did in Medina.
It's gorgeous. Put that on there.
This has been very popular.
Yeah.
The
it's
shift
a version.
And
I mean, it's more cost conscious, but it's also
a summer weight version. I mean, it's something lighter.
And there are people that don't want wool. Yeah, isn't that
exactly
gorgeous?
It's cotton acrylic viscose blend. So for those of you who are looking for a lighter weight or a cooler feeling cowl.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Sorry. Wow, look at my grays.
Not supposed to do that, Dina.
It's okay.
I was going to say something about, Dinah, do you have there in the shop the thing that Nikki knit up, the
plump?
To Shane?
No, she took it home.
The gold one? You took that?
Stevia, yes.
Well,
this is the Medina.
That's the
Medina. So you can see that it's self-striping.
Look at those colors.
Yeah.
Perfect for the shift.
I think these are the colors she may have used. Maybe one of them is off.
It wasn't the blue one. It wasn't the blue one, but right. Yeah, 2 of them are. Yeah, that's lovely. As I said, you could use spin cycle if you want,
Oh, we have a tremendous amount of spin cycle.
What Dinah did a huge job with, you've done a huge job with and I'm going to say it wrong, throw
over. Yeah.
Over, is that what it's called?
The
pullover version. It's reminding me to see it when I see what's behind you.
But this is all we have left.
Is that everything?
Pretty much everything. Yep. There's some stock behind, but this here is all Germantown. Yeah. And it's a perfect worsted weight yarn to knit the throw over by Andrea Mallory. So that was another thing. Just as this whole pandemic started, she released a pullover version of the throwback, and she called it the throw over, as in pullover. And she's got the beautiful yoke done in the spin cycle Dream State.
Right.
And it's paired with a worsted weight yarn, and Germantown is a gorgeous option.
I saw that Diane from Suburban Stitcher,
she's knitting it.
hers on in the bathroom. She did a bathroom selfie. She
Oh,
was
did she?
right about under the bust,
Okay.
trying
Did
it
you
on
test all the yolk?
to make sure it fits. She said, okay, it fits. I can keep going.
It looks good. Yeah, I think I saw that actually. I think I liked it. And then Sharon from the Modern Skein, I think is just casting on. Oh no, she's doing
She's doing the one you did, the
Sandoval, right?
Sandoval. Yes, she's doing the Sandoval, which is another nice color work.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I was going to say, Dinah? Show them, if you might,
Mm-hmm.
the you know, when you're gone for a couple of weeks, the names are escaping me. It will come Estiva.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the yarn that it's called? Estiva?
Yes, the Steva.
Because that was a great option for the Deshane.
Mm-hmm.
The Deshane has been so popular. You don't have a Deshane there, do you?
I don't.
I'll look it up. I got it.
Okay, thanks. I'll be right back.
I will find it for you. Deshane. You know what I'm going to do? The place I'm thinking that I have the Deshane is on my Ravelry page, the one I made last year. And so I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to projects and I am going to find it. Here's mine. Okay, let me see if I can make it bigger. I know I can. Okay, here's mine. This is the Deshane from last year. We used Lino, has been probably the most popular yarn for that. Some people use Nina, right, Dinah?
Yes. In fact, I just looked up Patty. Somebody used Patty, the yarn that I'm using for
right. Yeah,
a wave of change.
Now, Dinah, this yarn came in this spring, and we used it.
This is called the Steva.
Yeah.
So
turn it the other way on that. Yeah, because you can see the color change more there. Yeah, okay. That's lovely. You see how it's a tonal color change.
Yeah.
It's the same color, but it changes. Yeah.
So you're working a back and a front. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Pam. You may want to start, if you're working from the center, so you pull the yarn from the center of the cake and work outward. You'll start with light and go dark, and you'd want to do the same with both the front and the back so they kind of are symmetrical. Here's a teal.
And then you just want to be careful on your sleeves, that when you pick up for that little short sleeve that you have, that, you know, if you're ending light, you don't want to do the real dark colors down there. So you would just want to, but look at that. Great colors. And it's cotton, right? It's a bulky cotton, but it's lightweight, which is why it's great.
100% cotton? It is.
Yeah, that's lovely.
I don't think I can hold them all to show you the palettes, but.
See what happens when I'm not there?
I know.
There you go. You got it. Is the gold gone? Is the gold out of stock?
Gold is out of stock.
See,
but
Baroque, go ahead, say it, Dina.
Well, I was just going to step away. So why don't you share the news with Barocco? Because they've really been great.
Yeah, they have. They have this, I think Dina said it's called 123, where in an effort to support local yarn shops right now, if a customer would call Dina and you said, I want that gold, I'd love the gold in that yarn that we just showed you, they will drop ship it to the customer directly for the local yarn shop. So it's not that Dina has to order the yarn and get it in and send it out to you. They're trying to support local yarn shops, right, Dina?
Yeah, they're really great. It's a wonderful thing that Barocco is doing. They're drop shipping, which has been, it's tremendous, especially it saves a step. It gets you the yarn directly. And it
I was just saying that if someone wanted the gold that you're out of stock, just to use that as an example, they could say, gee, I want the gold. Anna could call Barocco and they will drop ship it and ship it directly to you.
That's correct.
To support Dina. And the same thing goes with, you know, was that Medina that you showed?
That's the one that I just showed for the Shift Cowl, the summer version that we're doing.
Or the, or even the Lang yarns, right? Any of the Lang yarns. Like if you wanted to do Lino in the Shane and there was a color that Dina didn't have, they could drop ship. How great is that? That's really fabulous.
So a lot of the parent companies, they've really been great throughout all of this, being supportive. Unfortunately, for example, there's some companies that have been under the mandate where they have to stop shipping. And we've had this situation. I was just going to say, there's another pattern that was released. I'm going to pull it up right now. And I sold out so quickly of the yarn. It was Seven Sisters top by Blue Sky Fibers. Some of you have seen it. I posted it on Instagram. Wait,
It's nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
It's
shot.
done using the printed cotton from Blue Sky. And I'm currently out of stock, but they were just opened up their warehouse. This is it. This is
Oh,
called,
did they?
yes. So they only have, I think, 3 colors available right now. This one being one of them. It's the Dusty Miller. It's like a light gray.
Yeah,
I
that's it.
believe they have Jack Frost. I'd have to look it up.
Jack Frost, I think, is a little darker.
It's the dark color.
Yeah.
And then there's Sweet Pea, which is a pretty green. It's a very soft pea green, very summery. So those colors are going to be coming back in.
I may have to do that, Dina, when it comes in.
Pardon?
I may have to do that when it comes
Fabulous. It's a great top, Pam. It really is adorable.
in. Fast knit, too.
Uh-huh. So these are great summer options, great tees that don't take a lot of skeins. I know we covered the Millie. The Millie takes, I think, 2 skeins of cobblestone, the Flower Power, 2 skeins of a fingering weight yarn. The Seven Sisters, I think, takes either 4 or 5 skeins. Well, no, it would take more depending on sizing, but it starts with 4, 5, 6. And I'm trying to...
A lot of good options that aren't projects that are going to break the bank.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to.
I mean, even a Wave of Change, the jacket that I'm doing out of the Patty.
Yeah.
Where is it? It's taking, I think we said it was 7 skeins. Now this is a cardigan, $11 a skein, $77. That's not too bad for a cardigan, 100% cotton cardigan.
Correct. It's not at all. It's a very good option.
I'm doing the size, I think 45, it has a 4-inch positive ease. So I'm doing the 45-inch finished bust.
Yep.
And yeah, so I think in this episode, Pam and I were trying to be conscientious of that. There are, the painting brick shawl, the one that I'm knitting in tinned is not a budget saving shawl. But if you use your stash dive or if you do mini skeins, there's certain ways, or a self-striping yarn, there's certain ways to definitely keep it to your budget down.
Right. You may only have to get the main color.
Right.
Which would involve 2 skeins or, whatever.
If you're a West Knits fan, you must have leftovers and fingering weight yarns. There's always little bits and pieces here and there that you can use. And you don't have to stay in, I don't mean to talk over you, Pam. You don't have to repeat the 8 colors. If you have a little bit, use it in the beginning. Get rid of your little ends, like your little stash. And just
you could use 12 different colors, right? You could use 12 different colors.
Absolutely.
You don't have to, whatever you want to do.
Exactly. So, yeah. So that's it. We just wanted to connect with you guys. It's been a while. Life has been very different.
Life has been very different. I'm going to put my pillow behind me.
Everyone is challenged with, I guess, doing things differently. It's funny. I was telling Pam earlier, I pulled up to I'm looking outside the window now. The parking lot is empty, which is how it usually looks when I come to work. This morning, I saw 2 cars in front of, next door for my locals is Diane's place. And she's a hairdresser and she's been forced to close. And I noticed that she's been coming in. I told Pam, I told you, there's been activity next door, but the shop is closed. Well, I knocked on the window today to see what she was doing. And she said that she's preparing color, which I thought was fabulous. Very creative, trying to stay in business. So her and her sister, both hairdressers, they are preparing the color for clients that are local, and they drive to their house. It's pre-mixed, and they deliver the color. They can't apply it because of the social distancing, but she leaves it for them to apply in their own hair.
Right.
So I have their number. Anyone who's local and they want color, if you want to venture to do your own color.
No, it's true. Listen,
I would
do that. I would do that.
I have been forced to promote selling online.
Yeah, well, that's it's whatever it is, whatever you have to do.
Yes. My online presence is not strong, but I am here to answer questions. You call the shop. My calls are forwarded to my cell phone. You can reach me. I answer questions. People email me patterns where they're stuck. If it requires a FaceTime, I'll try to FaceTime.
But you also stay on top.
Pardon?
I said you stay on top of, what's going on, what's happening in the knitting community, you know.
I'm
So you can
trying
pass
to.
that on to your customers and keep them updated and show them what they can do if they want to.
Right, right. This West Knits shawl just came out, and I also, I want to say I also listened to you guys. Some of the customers that bought it suggested that I do a Zoom call just for the West Knits, the painting brick shawl. So I took a group of people that I knew who bought the kit for me, and they were so excited. We did a Zoom call. Everyone showed their progress. We talked about Weaving Steven, his video. We
Right.
talked about the layout of color and how to approach it. It was fun. So
Well, and you also did we did a knit Zoom call, a knit night
right,
Zoom
we didn't
call.
want to miss knit night. So knit night is usually the first Thursday of the month.
Right.
So we hosted a Zoom knit night, which I think I would like to host another one. That was fun to connect with everyone.
It was.
Pam, you did guided knitting. Grace reached out to you.
Yep. We
You
did a guided knitting this week, and they want to do another one next week.
Okay. Was there guided knitting involved, or was it just everyone missing each other and just feeling the need?
I think it was 75% people missing each other. They were sharing their projects, updating each other on what they'd done. You know, I mean, there's only so much that you can help with on a Zoom call, you know, but she was gauging for the Seven Sisters sweater you were just talking about. So we talked about that. And that's really it. And of course, one of the major topics I think that you'd find, Diana, on any Zoom call is, what are you watching on Netflix?
I think I've watched all of Netflix. Let's just cover that.
That's what everyone is saying. So
I feel like I need new.
But we're lucky because we can watch knitting podcasts.
Right.
Right. We're just not restricted to Netflix or Hulu.
The Zoom calling has been interesting. I mean, how fabulous was it, that woman that we met from New Zealand? It was so great. You know, for people who can't come to knit night, they're restricted by virtue of where they're from, where they live. She was from New Zealand.
Right.
Some people work at night, or they get home too late. So it was kind of nice to see new faces. And
correct. And there was someone from, I think, Charlotte. Wasn't there someone from Charlotte on or something?
Santa Fe, Pennsylvania, New Mexico.
I can't even remember right now.
It was lovely. It was fun. So that was good. What else can I share with you? Knit Collage is hosting a knit along.
Oh, that's popular.
That is very popular. I have to say, send a huge shout out to Amy for opening up the knit along to the brick and mortar shops.
Yeah.
For those of us she gave permission to sell, we went to town, we promoted, we really put ourselves out there trying to promote her kits, and I think we hopefully made her proud.
Yeah.
A lot of people were interested and purchased them and took advantage of getting them ahead of time for pre-sale. And on the back end, for those of you who know that Vanessa works at Knit Collage, she is just an amazing backbone there. She's always there, available. You can email her. They are very responsive, great people. So a lot of people are excited because those kits are filtering in. They're getting delivered.
Yes, I noticed that people are starting to receive them.
A lot of people are posting. So there's a lot of publicity around that.
Mm-hmm.
What else can I share? I don't know. Do we have any questions for our viewers, Pam?
Well, what are some of your cast-ons? Are you casting on during the stay-at-home
COVID cast on?
Yeah. Exactly? What are you casting on? Share it with us, because I may have to cast it on.
Because we don't have enough cast-on-itis.
I usually, in general, try to be fairly disciplined with I wouldn't start anything until that Portage was done, because I knew I had to finish that. That was a big thing, right? You were doing the same thing. You were doing the same thing.
Definitely, I knew. I mean, I cast on the spring thing, and I'm actually very happy that I'm done knitting the maid body.
Yeah.
I actually was nervous about casting on a wave of change, not having the main body of the spring thing actually completed. So I'm happy that that's done. Right. So I know I have little edgings to do, like this needs to be woven in, the pockets need to be sewn to, the finesse.
Right.
Getting it to the
that's nothing. That really is that just takes half an hour. You'll be done with that.
Maybe half an hour. Sorry, the phone's ringing.
That's okay, but you've gotten a lot of knitting done. You did your spring thing. You've started your new cast on, and you've done the brick.
Yes.
Well, I'm not calling it the right thing. The brick. whatever. What's it called?
Painting Brick Shawl by Westmith.
Bricks. Okay, I'll just call it
I
brick.
love that shawl.
I'm never going to remember that.
I'm loving
That's
it.
a great shawl. It's a great, easy, fairly mindless thing to do, I think, right?
Definitely. And I think if unless you unless you ordered his kit,
Yeah.
you know, the way it was prepackaged, I don't think any two are going to be alike because everyone's just
Yeah.
using their own yarn or going in their own order. So it's fun.
You should have the people that are making it send you a picture so you can post the different an in progress picture so you can
Right.
like show a rainbow of all the different colors. That would be fun,
That would be fun.
right?
Yes. So I encourage you to stay connected. Send me your FOs, send me your whips. People have been emailing me and keeping me connected. And a lot of the things I tend to do myself because of our social distancing situation, but I'm trying very hard to post and stay connected with you guys. I don't want it to look like I'm only posting things that people are interested in, but I have to tell you when I post, it's because I'm just so grateful that you guys are calling me and keeping me here.
Yep.
I find that people, Pam, I told you this when the first week that we closed, a lot of our customers that are used to coming in on a weekly basis will just call to that phone call that we spoke about. We said phone calls are up. It's just that feeling of the need to stay connected.
See how everyone's doing.
Yeah.
I've done that myself. You know, I've made more phone calls to people just to, you know, see how they're doing and to see what's going on. And, you know, especially if they're home alone, you know, it's, or not even home alone. I mean, listen, tomorrow's Easter. You celebrated Passover a few evenings ago with your family.
Happy Passover, Good Friday. Easter's coming up tomorrow.
So it's going to be
an interesting,
I'm sorry.
Interesting holiday. No, go ahead.
No, it's just it's a different holiday, you know. It's not as it would normally be, you know. I have three of my kids are, you know, in their apartments, and regardless of where they are, Brooklyn, Manhattan, you know, and you know, we can't be together for the holiday. Of course, they love visiting with Lucy and Olive, then two nieces, and they can't see them either. Of course, you know, so what we've been doing, we've done a few Zoom calls, which is nice. But I feel bad for them. I have, you know, Katie, my daughter Katie has a friend.
Where does Katie live?
She's in Inwood in Upper Manhattan.
Upper Manhattan.
And so she has someone that's with her, you know, a lot of the time. But my other two, my son and my daughter, they don't have any, they live alone, and they don't have, you know, anybody around them. My son's roommates came home, and he's there alone in Brooklyn. I mean, not that he's not going to die, of course, he's alone, but as a mother, I feel bad because a lot of kids have come home and they can't. So, you know, it's, that makes me sad. That makes me sad.
The social distancing is definitely, I think,
Right.
You have to stay connected, stay active. These Zoom calls, phone calls, the craft that you do,
right?
Whether it's cooking, Dan loves to cook. You know, it's important to stay busy.
Keep yourself, stay connected. That's why I say the Zooms and the phone calls are important because, you know, I want to make sure that that's what my daughter, the one that was in Brooklyn, she's the one that was calling me just now. You know, we talk every day. We FaceTime at least once a day, you know, and she was rearranging her apartment yesterday, and, you know, she loves plants and she was doing things with the plants. So, you know, it's things like that just to stay connected, you know, because as a mother, you know, I get worried about, you know, you hear this also, Dina, when you're alone for such a long period of time, you know, you want to talk to people. You want to connect, you know.
I go visit my mom. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that my mom lives 5 minutes away. She lives alone. She is like me in the sense, or I'm like her.
Yeah, she's always out, your mom, right?
She's out and about. She needs to stay busy. As much as I need to have this distraction by coming to the shop, and I feel like this is my little refuge, getting away or whatever it is.
Right.
My mom is the same way. And I have to tell you, God bless her. She might be alone, but she finds ways to keep busy. She has been so good. She cooks us meals. I told you, Pam. She'll make me, you know, my kids love her cooking. So she'll make a pot of food. I'll go to her house. She'll open the door. The pot is outside.
Aw.
She'll take 4 steps back. It's really bizarre that I can't hug her, kiss her, thank her for all the cooking that she's done for us.
I'm sure.
But at least I get to see her.
Right.
We
Is she
talk
knitting, Dina? Is she knitting?
She is. I don't have it with me. I hate to say it. She knit a sample.
Oh, did she finish it?
She made a mistake. So
Oh.
now I should share what it is. So Becky from Clinton Hill Cashmere came out with the Tritone Shawl. And it's a beautiful shawl. It takes 6 skeins of DK weight bespoke cashmere. Now this is not a budget saving shawl.
This is an extravagant. This is
an extravagant
shawl, right?
Yes, it's definitely extravagant.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful. It's called the Tritone Shawl. But my mother, so what happened was I ordered yarn because I didn't have all the colors in stock. I was out of a few. And I forgot to tell my mom that there are 3 colors in the shawl. Now, for those of you who don't know, my mother has macular degeneration. I printed the pattern for her. And with her blurred vision, she couldn't quite make out the color variants. So it looked like to her, she had to repeat 1, 2, 1, 2 in her pattern.
She didn't have the 3rd color in there.
She didn't have the 3rd color, so she was making do with the 2. So she finished it using 4 skeins. So it's a shorter, I mean, I'm not going to rip it out. I thought maybe to take the cast on and cast off and make it.
Well, if you were going to rip it out, how much would you
I'd have to rip it out to the first color. So
okay, you'd have to take it away.
I'll show you guys next time. But listen, it is, wow, is it already almost 12:30, Pam?
Well, yeah.
How long have we been talking?
12:23. I don't know. How long did it say on the thing?
I don't know, but the shop opened at 11:30 and the phone's ringing nonstop. I have it, calls coming in, but I'm not picking up. So maybe we should end on this note that I need to get back.
Yeah, but I think now, when are we going to podcast next? I think we should do this more often, Dina.
If you're comfortable with it.
Do it for like a half an hour.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be too long. So stay tuned. We'll podcast again. Hopefully you enjoyed our Zoom call. Yes. And Pam.
We enjoyed being together and talking.
This was good. Miss this. Everybody stay home, stay safe.
Keep knitting, crocheting.
And
we miss you.
We miss you tremendously, and stay in touch. We look forward to hearing your COVID cast on. Leave a comment.
Let us know.
Yep. All right. Bye, everyone. Virtual hugs.
Bye.
And kisses. Bye.
Bye.
Now I have to figure